The last cupcake. The pink ribbon stretched across the doorway like a promise. Maya stood behind it, scissors in hand, trying to ignore the trembling in her fingers. 27 years old, and this felt like the first real thing she'd ever done. The first thing that was entirely, undeniably hers. Sweet Beginnings Bakery. The sign above the door gleamed in the early September light, the letters painted in gold leaf that had cost more than she should have spent but couldn't resist. Through the window, she could see the display cases she'd polished until her reflection looked back at her. The vintage tables she'd restored herself, the Edison bulbs hanging from exposed beams that had taken her 3 weekends to install. Every inch of this place had her fingerprints on it, her sweat, her hope. She'd sent the invitations 3 weeks ago. Cream card stack with embossed lettering, because this mattered, because she wanted them to know it mattered. You're invited to the grand opening of Sweet Beginnings Bakery. Saturday, September 14th, 10 a.m. Come celebrate with me. Her phone showed 9:47 a.m. 13 minutes. Maya smoothed down her apron, dusty rose with her initials monogrammed on the pocket, a gift she'd bought herself because who else was going to do it, and surveyed the tables one more time. Raspberry lemon cupcakes with buttercream swirls, chocolate croissants that had taken her 4 years to perfect, cinnamon rolls glazed so generously they looked obscene, miniature fruit tarts arranged like jewels, coffee brewing in the corner, filling the space with warmth. Everything was ready. Everything was perfect. The street outside was quiet, but it was early yet. Saturday morning in downtown Portland, the neighborhood still waking up. She'd chosen this location specifically, close enough to her family's side of town that they wouldn't have to drive far, but far enough that it felt like hers. A fresh start. New territory. Her phone buzzed. Mom. Running a bit late, honey. Be there soon. Maya exhaled. Running late was fine. Running late meant coming. She repositioned a tray of macarons. Lavender honey, her grandmother's recipe. The one thing Nana had taught her before the dementia took her memories. She'd spent months getting them right, tweaking the ratios, adjusting the oven temperature by single degrees until they emerged with those perfect little feet. That delicate crack when you bit into them. Nana would have come. Nana would have been first through the door, her eyes lighting up like Maya had hung the moon. But Nana was in a facility now, barely remembering her own name, let alone that her granddaughter had a dream. 9:53 a.m. Maya unlocked the door, flipped the sign to open, and stood behind the counter. Waiting. A jogger passed by. A woman walking 2 small dogs. A teenage couple sharing earbuds. No one stopped. 9:58 a.m. Her father was never late. Daniel Hartwell prided himself on punctuality, on reliability, on being a man of his word. If you say you'll be somewhere, you be there. He'd told her 1,000 times growing up. Your word is all you've got. She'd believed him. 10 a.m. The ribbon hung across the doorway, still uncut. Maya checked her phone. No new messages. She tried her mom's number. It rang 4 times, then went to voicemail. Hey, it's Jennifer. Leave me a message and I'll call you back. Hi, Mom, it's me. Just wondering where you guys are. The opening started, so yeah. Call me back. She texted her brother, Marcus. You on your way? The read receipt appeared immediately. Then the 3 dots, typing. Then they disappeared. No response. 10:15 a.m. A customer walked in, an elderly man with kind eyes and a newspaper tucked under his arm. Well, isn't this lovely? He said, looking around. Just opened? Today, I said, and my voice only shook a little. Grand opening. Congratulations, young lady. That's quite an achievement. He ordered a coffee and a cinnamon roll, and when she handed it to him, he patted my hand. You've got something special here. I can tell. She wanted to hug him, the stranger who saw her, who acknowledged her, who understood that what she'd done mattered. He sat by the window, and Maya went back to waiting. 10:30 a.m. Her phone rang. Finally. Mom? Sweetie, listen. Her mother's voice had that careful quality to it, the one she used when delivering bad news, when Maya's goldfish died, when she didn't make the cheerleading squad, when her college boyfriend broke up with her via text. We're at Rosie's thing? The world tilted slightly. What? Rosie's promotion party. Remember? She made partner at the firm. It's at that restaurant downtown, the fancy Italian place. The whole family's here, sweetie. Dad, Marcus, Aunt Linda, the cousins. Even Uncle Tom drove up from Salem. Maya's throat closed. But, Mom, today's my opening. I know, honey, and we feel terrible about the timing. But Rosie just found out about the partnership on Thursday, and she wanted to celebrate this weekend, and you know how hard she's worked. I've worked hard. The words came out sharp, cutting through her mother's explanation. I worked 3 jobs for 2 years to save for this. I took business classes at night. I tested recipes until I couldn't taste sugar anymore. You knew about this opening for months. Don't take that tone with me, Maya. We're very proud of you, but Rosie's achievement is… what? More important? A pause. In that pause, she heard everything her mother wouldn't say. It's a major law firm, sweetie. Partner before 30. That's incredibly prestigious. Your bakery will be there tomorrow, and next week, and next month. This was the only time everyone could get together for Rosie. Maya looked at the tables she'd set up. The family table, she'd been calling it in her head. 8 chairs. She'd even put a reserved sign on it, like they were VIPs, like they mattered more than any other guests, like they'd actually come. I have to go, Jennifer said, and Maya could hear the noise in the background now that she was listening for it. Laughter, music, the clink of glasses. We'll come by next week, okay? I promise. We'll take pictures, make a whole thing of it.
Yeah, okay. Love you, sweetie. The line went dead. Maya stood there, phone pressed to her ear, listening to silence. The elderly man at the window glanced at her, concern creasing his face. She turned away, busied herself with wiping down an already clean counter. 10:45 a.m. 2 college students came in, ordered lattes, and split a croissant. A mother with a toddler. A group of women in yoga pants, post-workout and chattering about their instructor. Each one complimented the space, the baked goods, the aesthetic. Each one was a stranger. Maya cut the ribbon herself at 11 a.m. She did it because it felt more pathetic to leave it hanging there, a monument to expectation. She held the scissors, positioned the blades, and felt the resistance of the satin before it gave way. The 2 halves fluttered to the ground. No one applauded. No one took pictures. She was alone. The bakery stayed open until 6, like she'd planned. Maya smiled at customers, made small talk, recommended the raspberry lemon cupcakes to anyone who looked uncertain. She gave free samples to children and chatted with the food blogger who'd seen the bakery on Instagram and wanted to feature it. This is gorgeous, the blogger said, taking photos from every angle. And these croissants, life-changing. You're going to do amazing. Thank you, Maya said, and she meant it, but the words felt like they were coming from someone else's mouth. Some version of herself that could feel joy today, that could be present. She kept checking her phone between customers. No calls, no texts. At 12:30 p.m., she finally broke down and checked Instagram. Her sister Rosie's page was an explosion of celebration. Photo after photo, the restaurant's elegant interior, champagne flutes raised, a cake with "Congratulations, partner" written in chocolate script. Rosie in a cream silk blouse, her dark hair perfectly styled, beaming at the camera. Their father's arm around her shoulders, pride radiating from his face. Their mother kissing Rosie's cheek, Marcus making a goofy face in the background. The whole family, just like Mom had said. Rosie's caption, "Surrounded by love on the best day of my life. Partner at 29. Dreams really do come true when you work hard and have the best support system in the world. Love my family so much." 147 likes, 43 comments. All congratulations, all celebrating her. Maya's own Instagram post from that morning, a photo of the bakery, the ribbon across the door, her smiling face, had 23 likes.
Most from acquaintances, her college roommate, a few regular customers from the cafe where she'd worked before this. Not one from her family. She put the phone away and focused on a customer ordering a dozen assorted cupcakes. The afternoon blurred. More customers, more compliments, more strangers being kinder to her than her own blood. A young couple asked if she did wedding cakes. A business owner from down the street welcomed her to the neighborhood. Someone left a 5-star review on Google before they'd even finished their coffee. Charming new bakery with incredible pastries and the sweetest owner. Portland is lucky to have this gem. Maya read it 3 times, trying to absorb the warmth, trying to let it mean something. At 3:47 p.m., her phone finally buzzed with a message from her father. Dad, sorry we missed the opening. At Rosie's celebration. Very proud of you, though. Bakery looks nice in the photos. That was it. 18 words. No apology for choosing one daughter over the other. No explanation. Just a flat acknowledgement that he'd missed it. Like it was an accident. Like he'd gotten the date wrong. Like he hadn't made a deliberate choice. Very proud of you, though. Though, as if his pride needed a qualifier. As if it were conditional. Maya's hands shook as she typed a response. Deleted it. Typed another. Deleted that too. What was there to say? What could she say that wouldn't make her sound bitter, hurt, pathetic? She settled on, thanks. One word. She could manage that much. She waited for a response. Something more. Some acknowledgement that she had a right to feel disappointed, but the 3 dots never appeared. By 5 o'clock, the initial rush had slowed. A few lingering customers, a couple on a date sharing a tart. Maya started cleaning up, putting away the trays, wiping down tables. The macarons were nearly gone, only 3 left. Almost everything had sold, actually. By any business metric, the day had been a success. By any human metric, it had been devastating. At 5:30 p.m., Marcus texted, "Congrats on the bakery. Sorry I couldn't make it. Rosie's thing ran long." She didn't respond. At 5:45, Aunt Linda. "Heard the bakery opened today. So exciting. We'll have to visit soon." Soon. The word people used when they meant eventually, which meant never. The last customer left at 5:52 p.m. Maya locked the door behind them, flipped the sign to closed, and stood in the middle of her empty bakery. Her dream, her achievement, her everything. She'd imagined this moment so many times, pictured her father raising a toast, her mother crying happy tears, Marcus making a joke to cut the tension but meaning every word when he said he was proud. Pictured Rosie, successful, driven Rosie, looking around and saying something genuine for once. Something that wasn't competitive or backhanded. "You really did it, Maya. This is incredible." But Rosie was at a fancy Italian restaurant, basking in the glow of a promotion she'd known about for days. A promotion she could have celebrated any weekend, any night, any time. But she'd chosen today. And everyone had chosen her. Maya walked to the family table, the one she'd reserved, the one with 8 empty chairs, and sat down. She pulled out her phone and looked at Rosie's Instagram again. New photos had been posted. Her father giving a speech, hand on his heart. More champagne. Someone had brought balloons. She scrolled back through the comments. Jennifer Hartwell. "So incredibly proud of you, sweetheart. You've worked so hard for this." Daniel Hartwell. "My daughter, the partner. I always knew you'd do great things." Marcus Hartwell. "Congrats, sis. You killed it." Maya set the phone face down on the table. She'd worked hard, too. She'd worked 3 jobs, barista, waitress, night shift at a grocery store for 2 years to save the money for this place. She'd gone to the bank 7 times before someone finally approved her small business loan. She'd spent 6 months renovating the space herself, learning plumbing and electrical work from YouTube videos because she couldn't afford to hire help. She'd burned her hands, thrown her back out moving equipment, and cried herself to sleep from exhaustion more times than she could count. She'd done all of that, and none of them had witnessed a second of it. Because she was Maya, the artistic one, the dreamer, the one who'd gone to culinary school instead of law school, who chose joy over prestige, who wanted to make people happy with butter and sugar instead of six-figure corporate deals. She was the lesser daughter. She'd always been the lesser daughter. And today had just confirmed what she'd spent her whole life trying not to believe. Maya didn't cry. Not in the bakery, not in her car on the drive home, not when she walked into her apartment and saw the bottle of champagne she'd bought to celebrate with her family. She moved through her evening routine mechanically: shower, pajamas, tea. She sat on her couch with her laptop and went through the day's receipts. Profit: $847. More than she'd projected for opening day. A genuine success. She closed the laptop. Her phone buzzed. A text from her mother. "Hope you had a wonderful day, sweetie. Can't wait to see the bakery." No acknowledgement of the disappointment, no apology, just cheerful deflection, pretending that everything was fine, that Maya had no right to feel hurt. She almost responded, almost wrote out everything she was feeling: the betrayal, the insignificance, the crushing weight of being perpetually second best. But what would be the point? Her mother would get defensive, make excuses, tell Maya she was being too sensitive. "You're too emotional, Maya. You take everything so personally." She'd heard those words her entire childhood, every time she dared to express hurt, every time she'd wanted acknowledgement that she mattered too. She turned off her phone instead. Sleep didn't come easily. She lay in the dark, replaying the day. The empty chairs, the uncut ribbon, her father's face in Rosie's Instagram posts, that expression of pure pride, the one she'd spent her life trying to earn. When was the last time he looked at her like that? Had he ever? She remembered being 12, bringing home a ribbon from a baking competition at school. First place, junior division. She'd been so excited, burst through the door waving the blue ribbon, expecting celebration. Her father had been on the phone with a colleague. He'd held up one finger, wait, and continued his conversation. 20 minutes later, when he'd finally hung up, he'd glanced at the ribbon on the counter. "That's nice, honey. Good job." Then he'd gone back to his study. That same day, Rosie had come home with a 98 on her algebra test, and he'd taken her out for ice cream. 98, not even perfect. But it was Rosie, so it warranted celebration. Maya had eaten dinner alone that night, the ribbon sitting on the kitchen counter, meaning nothing to anyone but her. She'd put it in a box under her bed, along with every other achievement her family had barely acknowledged. Newspaper clippings from her culinary school graduation, a photo of the first wedding cake she'd ever made professionally, 3 tiers, decorated with sugar flowers so realistic the bride had cried. A thank you card from her children's hospital where she'd volunteered, teaching baking classes to young cancer patients. Evidence that she mattered, that she was more than the family afterthought. But evidence only she would ever see. In the darkness of her bedroom, Maya made a decision. She wasn't going to beg for their attention anymore, wasn't going to chase their approval, modify herself to fit their definition of success, shrink herself to make them comfortable with their neglect. She was done. Sunday morning, Maya went to the bakery alone. She'd planned to take the day off, but staying in her apartment felt suffocating. The bakery, at least, was hers. Every corner of it belonged to her, reflected her, proved that she was capable of creating something beautiful. She spent the morning baking. Croissants, scones, a batch of sourdough. Therapeutic work, the kind that required attention and precision and left no room for destructive thoughts. Knead, fold, rest. Shape, proof, bake. Simple processes with reliable outcomes, unlike family. At noon, her phone rang. She turned it back on out of habit and immediately regretted it. Rosie's name flashed on the screen. Maya almost didn't answer, almost let it go to voicemail. But curiosity, or maybe masochism, made her pick up. "Hey,
she said flatly. Maya! Oh my God, I've been meaning to call all weekend. Congratulations on the bakery! Mom showed me the pictures. It looks so cute. Cute. Like a child's lemonade stand. Like a hobby. Thanks. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to the opening. The timing was just awful. You know how last minute this whole partner thing was? The firm wanted to do something immediately and everyone was available yesterday, so you scheduled your party on the same day as my opening. A pause. It wasn't intentional, Maya. Don't be like that. Be like what? Dramatic. I didn't know when I scheduled it. Mom mentioned your bakery thing, but I didn't realize it was the same day until Friday night, and by then, everyone had already committed to coming to mine. Your bakery thing. Maya felt something cold settle in her chest. Not anger. Anger was too hot, too reactive. This was colder, clearer. You've known about my opening for 3 months, Rosie. I sent the invitations in August. Okay, but I didn't have the date memorized. I've been insanely busy with work. Making partner is kind of a big deal. So is opening a business. Rosie laughed. Actually, laughed. I mean, sure, but it's not really the same thing. I'm the youngest partner in the firm's history. That's huge, Maya. It's a career-defining moment. And there it was. The truth, stated so casually, Rosie probably didn't even realize she'd said it. Your thing isn't as important as mine. Right, Maya said. Career-defining. Exactly. I knew you'd understand. You know I support you in your little bakery. We'll definitely come visit soon. Maybe next weekend? Maybe. Great. Anyway, I have to run. Brunch with some clients. But seriously, congrats. I'm proud of you for pursuing your passion, even if it's not the traditional path. The line went dead. Maya set the phone down carefully, like it might explode. Your little bakery. Even if it's not the traditional path. Your passion. Diminishment disguised as compliment. Rosie's specialty. The oven timer went off. Maya pulled out the croissants. Perfect. Golden. Their layers flaking at the slightest touch. She set them on the cooling rack and stared at them. These croissants had taken her 4 years to master. 4 years of failed batches, of adjusting butter ratios and folding techniques and fermentation times. She'd studied under a pastry chef from Paris, had spent a month in France learning the craft, had burned through hundreds of pounds of flour and butter getting them right. They weren't a hobby. They weren't a passion project. They were excellence, mastery, the product of years of dedication and work. But to her family, they would always be less than, because she'd made them with her hands instead of her mind, because they brought joy instead of prestige, because you couldn't frame a croissant and hang it on the wall next to your law degree. Maya took out her phone and opened her family group chat. The last message was from yesterday morning, her own message, reminding everyone about the opening, saying she couldn't wait to see them. No one had responded. She started typing. I need to say something, and I need you all to actually hear me. Yesterday was one of the most important days of my life. I opened a business, something I've worked toward for years. I invited all of you because I wanted to share that moment with the people who are supposed to matter most. None of you came. You chose Rosie's party instead. I understand that making partner is an achievement. I'm happy for Rosie. But her success doesn't erase mine. And the fact that all of you, every single one of you, chose her over me says everything about how you value me. I'm done pretending this doesn't hurt. I'm done making myself smaller so you don't have to confront how you treat me. I'm done begging for the basic respect and support that should be automatic. I love you all, but I can't keep setting myself on fire to keep you warm. If you want to be part of my life going forward, it has to be different. It has to be real. No more empty promises. No more "we'll come by soon." No more treating my achievements like they're cute hobbies, while Rosie's are career-defining moments. Either you show up or you don't, but I'm not chasing you anymore. Her finger hovered over the send button. This was it. the moment where she burned the bridge or let herself keep walking across it, diminished and invisible. She thought about her grandmother, real grandmother, before the dementia, the woman who'd taught her to bake, who'd said, "You've got magic in your hands, Maya girl. Don't you ever let anyone tell you that's not valuable." Nana had seen her, had valued her. And Nana wasn't here anymore. Maya pressed send. The responses came quickly. Marcus, whoa, okay, I get that you're upset, but this is kind of intense. Rosie, are you seriously making this about you? My promotion party was important to me, and you're ruining it by being petty. Mom, Maya, honey, call me. Let's talk about this. You're clearly very emotional right now. Dad, this isn't the way adults handle disappointment. We've already apologized. It's time to move on.
Maya read each message once, then put her phone away. She wasn't going to engage, wasn't going to defend herself or justify her feelings or let them gaslight her into believing she was overreacting. She was done. The bakery opened at noon on Sundays. Maya unlocked the door, put out the fresh pastries, started the coffee. Customers came, some returning from yesterday, some new. A little girl pointed at the raspberry lemon cupcakes, and Maya gave her one with extra sprinkles. "What do you say?" the mother prompted. "Thank you," the girl said, her face lighting up like Maya had given her the moon. "You're welcome, sweetheart." This, Maya realized, was enough. These small moments of connection. The elderly man from yesterday who'd called her work special, the food blogger, the couple asking about wedding cakes, the little girl with buttercream on her nose. People saw her here, valued her, appreciated what she created. She didn't need her family's approval to know she was successful. The afternoon passed peacefully. Maya baked, served customers, answered questions about the menu. Around 3 o'clock, a woman in her 50s came in, elegant, with silver hair and kind eyes. "I heard about this place from my daughter," she said, looking around. "She came yesterday and couldn't stop talking about the croissants." Maya smiled. "They're popular. I'll take 2, and one of those gorgeous tarts. Actually, make it 2 tarts. I have a feeling I'll want a second." As Maya boxed up the order, the woman said, "My daughter mentioned it was your opening day yesterday. That's quite an accomplishment. Thank you. I opened my own business 30 years ago, a bookstore, over on Hawthorne. It's still there." She paused. "I know how hard it is, how lonely it can be, especially at first. But you've built something beautiful here. You should be proud." Maya's throat tightened. "I am." "Good. Don't let anyone take that from you." The woman handed over her credit card, then added, "My family didn't come to my opening either. They thought a bookstore was a silly idea. Not practical, not profitable. They wanted me to get a real job." "What did you do?" "Proved them wrong." She smiled. "And eventually some of them came around. Some didn't. But I learned that the people who matter will show up. And the people who don't, well, they're telling you who they are. Believe them." Maya handed her the pastry box. "Thank you for saying that. Thank you for these croissants. I have a feeling I'll be back." She was. In the weeks that followed, Maya's bakery flourished. The blogger's post went viral. A local magazine featured sweet beginnings in their Hidden Gems section. Wedding inquiries poured in. A nearby coffee shop asked about a wholesale partnership. Maya hired 2 part-time employees, college students who loved baking and treated the job with genuine care. She started a Sunday brunch menu. She taught a children's baking class on Saturday mornings, watching kids' faces light up as they decorated their own cupcakes. She built a life. Her family didn't visit. Marcus texted occasionally, memes mostly, nothing substantial. Her mother called every few weeks, conversations that stayed surface level and carefully avoided the elephant in the room. Rosie sent a gift card to the bakery, $25 from a corporate chain, with a note, "Congrats again, too busy to visit but thinking of you." Her father didn't reach out at all. Maya stopped checking their social media, stopped wondering what family gatherings she was missing, what holidays would be celebrated without her. She created new traditions instead. Friendsgiving with her employees, baking marathons with her former culinary school classmates, volunteering at the Children's Hospital on Christmas Eve. She learned that family wasn't just the people you were born to. It was the people who showed up, who celebrated your victories, who held you through your defeats, who saw you, really saw you, and loved what they found. 3 months after the opening, Maya received a letter in the mail. Her grandmother's handwriting, shaky but recognizable. Dear Maya girl, I don't remember much these days, but I remember you. I remember your hands, always moving, always creating. I remember how you made the world sweeter. I'm so proud of you. I always have been. Don't let them dim your light, baby. Shine bright. Shine for both of us. All my love, Nana. Maya pressed the letter to her chest and cried. The first tears she'd allowed herself since the opening. Not tears of sadness, not tears of anger. Tears of release. She hung the letter in the bakery, in a simple frame by the register. Customers asked about it sometimes, and Maya told them about her grandmother, about the magic in her hands, about building something beautiful, even when the people who were supposed to love you couldn't see it. Most people understood. Some had their own stories of family disappointment, of choosing themselves, of learning that worth wasn't determined by the people who couldn't recognize it. On her bakery's 6-month anniversary, Maya created a new recipe, a cake inspired by her grandmother, honey lavender layers with lemon curd and chamomile buttercream. Delicate, complex, nostalgic. She called it Nana's Legacy. It became her signature. A year after the opening, Maya's father called. She almost didn't answer, but curiosity and maybe a trace of hope she wished she didn't have made her pick up. Maya?
Dad? A long silence. Your mother says the bakery is doing well. It is. That's good. I'm glad. Another silence. Maya didn't fill it. She was done making things easier for him. Finally, he said, I thought maybe I could come by. See what you've built. Why now? What? It's been a year, Dad. Why now? She heard him exhale. I've been thinking about what you said in that message, about how we treated you. And you were right. We should have been there. Something in her chest loosened slightly. Not forgiveness, not yet. But acknowledgment was a start. Do you understand why it mattered so much? She asked. Why I needed you there? I think so. You worked hard for this. You wanted to share it with us. Not just that. Maya's voice was steady now, clear. I wanted you to see me, really see me, not as the daughter who chose the wrong path, not as Rosie's less successful sister, as someone who built something real and valuable and meaningful. You are successful, Maya. The bakery. I don't mean financially successful. I mean seen, valued, loved for who I am, not who you wanted me to be. A longer silence. I don't know if I can give you what you need, he finally said. And the honesty of it was somehow worse than another excuse. I know, Maya said softly. And I've made peace with that. Have you? I'm learning to. Can I still come by? See the bakery? Maya looked around the space she'd built, the customers chatting at tables, the display case full of pastries, the life she'd created without her family's support. You can. But Dad, I'm not going to chase your approval anymore. If you come because you genuinely want to, not
Of guilt or obligation. I do want to. Then I'll be here, Tuesday through Sunday, 7 to 6. Okay. He paused. I really am proud of you, Maya. I should have said that a year ago. I should have shown you. Yeah, she agreed. You should have. I'm sorry. 2 words. Decades late. Insufficient and necessary all at once. Thank you, Maya said, because she'd learned that forgiveness didn't have to be immediate, that you could accept an apology without absolving someone of the hurt they'd caused. He came by the following Thursday, stood awkwardly at the counter while Maya served other customers, then sat at a corner table with a coffee and one of her grandmother's macarons. He didn't take photos for social media, didn't make a scene, just sat there, eating slowly, looking around at what his daughter had built. When he left, he hugged her, brief and uncertain, but real. It's beautiful, Maya. You did good. I know, she said, and meant it.
In the end, Maya's story wasn't about revenge or vindication. It wasn't about her family finally understanding, finally giving her the love and recognition she'd always craved. It was about her understanding that she didn't need them to validate her worth. The bakery thrived. Maya thrived. She dated a writer who thought her passion for baking was the sexiest thing about her. She traveled to Italy and studied under pastry masters. She wrote a cookbook called Sweet Beginnings, Recipes for Starting Over. Her family came around slowly, imperfectly. Some relationships healed, some stayed fractured. She learned to be okay with both outcomes. Rosie visited the bakery once, 2 years after the opening, ordered a coffee, looked around with something like respect, and said, "You really did it." "I did." "I'm sorry," Rosie said, "for not being there, for not seeing how important this was." "Thank you." Are we okay?" Maya considered the question honestly. "We're getting there, but it takes time, Rosie. Trust takes time to rebuild."
I understand. They didn't become close friends, but they became civil, cordial. Sisters who acknowledged each other's existence with something approaching mutual respect. Marcus sent his kids to her baking classes. Her mother volunteered during the holiday rush. Her father came by once a month, always on Thursdays, always ordering the same thing. But Maya's real family, the one she chose, was different. It was Sarah and Tom, her employees who became friends. It was the elderly man from opening day, Harold, who came every Saturday and told stories about his late wife, who'd loved to bake. It was her culinary school friends, her neighbors, her customers who remembered her name and asked about her life. It was everyone who'd shown up. On the 5-year anniversary of Sweet Beginnings, Maya stood in front of her bakery with scissors in her hand. A new addition had been built, a teaching kitchen, an events space, room to grow. A crowd gathered. Not her family. They were there, on the edges, but they weren't the point anymore. The point was Harold, grinning at the front of the crowd. The point was Sarah and Tom, holding the ribbon taut. The point was dozens of customers and friends and supporters who'd watched her build something beautiful and had chosen to be part of it. "Thank you," Maya said, looking at the faces before her, "for showing up, for seeing me, for making this dream possible." She cut the ribbon, and this time the applause was deafening. This time, she wasn't alone. And as her bakery grew, as her life expanded, as she built confidence and peace and self-love, Maya understood the most important truth. You teach people how to treat you by not demanding they change, but by refusing to diminish yourself for their comfort. Some people will rise to meet you. Some won't. Both answers tell you everything you need to know. And the ones who show up, they're your people, your real family, the ones worth keeping. Everyone else is just practice for learning to let go.